Welcome to the CompTIA A+ Prepcast presented by baremetalcyber.com. The command line continues to be one of the most powerful tools available to technicians, especially when diagnosing and repairing systems. This episode focuses on additional command line utilities that support system control and diagnostics. These include shutdown, SFC, task list, and task kill. These tools are used for managing power behavior, checking file integrity, listing running processes, and forcibly terminating malfunctioning applications. Together, they offer granular control of a Windows system and are essential when the graphical interface becomes unresponsive or unavailable. The A+ Core 2 exam expects you to understand their syntax, output, and appropriate usage. The shutdown command is used to power off, restart, or log off a Windows system from the command line. It is particularly useful in scripting, automation, and remote system management. For example, the command shutdown /R/T/0 immediately reboots the system without delay. /R stands for restart, and /T sets the timer in seconds. Technicians use this command to enforce restarts after patching, schedule shutdowns for after-hours updates, or gracefully end user sessions across multiple systems. Several switches extend the shutdown command's capabilities. The /S switch initiates a shutdown, while /R restarts the system. /T followed by a number sets a delay in seconds. For example, /T/300 sets a 5-minute delay. The /F switch forces applications to close without waiting for user interaction. /A is used to abort a scheduled shutdown or restart as long as it is issued before the timer expires. Knowing when and how to apply these switches is a common test topic. Here is a typical example of how shutdown might be used. A technician wants to notify users that the system will power down in 5 minutes for updates. They enter shutdown /S//T/300. This gives users a countdown warning and time to save their work. This approach is ideal in shared environments or during staged maintenance. Commands like this can also be embedded in batch scripts or group policy objects to automate repeatable shutdown events across a network. The SFC command, short for System File Checker, is used to verify and repair Windows system files. Running the command SFC//SCANNOW scans all protected system files and replaces corrupted ones with versions stored in the system cache. This command must be run in an elevated command prompt with administrator rights. It's useful after malware removal, unexplained crashes, or failed updates. Technicians often run SFC before attempting more drastic repairs like reinstallation or reset procedures. You should know when it's appropriate to use SFC. It is especially helpful when the system exhibits abnormal behavior, such as random crashes, user interface glitches, or system file errors. It's also used as a post-cleanup verification step after removing malware, since malicious software often damages critical system components. Running SFC may prevent unnecessary reinstalls by repairing what's already in place. The A+ exam may give you symptoms and ask if this is the right command to use. The results of SFC are displayed directly in the terminal. If the output says Windows Resource Protection did not find any integrity violations, then all protected system files are intact. If the message indicates that repairs were made, a system restart is typically required. For more detailed analysis, the scan results are stored in the cbs.log file. Technicians may review this log to determine which files were repaired or which issues still remain unresolved. Understanding this output helps in root cause analysis. Task list is a command that shows a list of all currently running processes. It provides a text-based view similar to what you'd find in the Task Manager. Each entry includes the process name, its process ID number, and memory usage. This command is especially useful in safe mode, over remote sessions, or when the graphical task manager cannot be accessed. Technicians use task list to identify stuck or suspicious programs and to find the process ID needed for use with task kill. You can modify tasklist's output for better readability or targeted information. Adding the /V switch provides verbose output, which includes window titles and session names. You can also pipe the output into the find command to search for a specific application name. For example, task list pipe find space Chrome will show all Chrome browser instances. When you need to terminate a specific process, task list helps you confirm the name and process ID before issuing a task kill command. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. The task kill command is used to forcibly stop a process from running. It works in combination with task list by targeting the name or the process ID of the application that needs to be closed. For example, entering task kill space /im space notepad.exe space /f will immediately terminate all open Notepad processes. This is helpful when an application freezes and cannot be closed through the graphical interface. Task kill is especially useful during malware removal or when stopping unresponsive programs in safe mode or over a remote connection. The /F switch used with task kill forces termination, bypassing any prompts or delays. Without this flag, the command may not work if the application is unresponsive or waiting for user input. The /PID option targets a specific process ID, allowing for precise control. For instance, task kill space /PID space 1234 space /F ends only that process, even if multiple instances of the same program are running. This level of granularity is important in cases where terminating the wrong process could affect critical operations. A common real-world example involves a user whose application has frozen. The mouse and keyboard still respond, but clicking does nothing. The technician opens a command prompt, types task list, and sees that excel.exe is consuming a large amount of memory. They then enter task kill space /im space excel.exe space /f. The process ends immediately, and the system returns to normal. This method avoids a full reboot and restores system responsiveness quickly. These scenarios appear frequently on the A+ exam. Another critical utility is chkdsk, short for check disk. This command is used to scan a drive for file system errors or physical issues. Using chkdsk space /f tells the system to fix any detected errors. Adding the /r option instructs chkdsk to locate bad sectors and attempt to recover any readable data. When scanning the system drive, chkdsk usually requires a reboot so the operation can run before Windows fully loads. This tool is essential for post-crash repairs, corrupted drive checks, and preventative diagnostics. Bootrec is another recovery command used primarily in the Windows recovery environment. It helps rebuild or repair the boot configuration when the system fails to start. The command bootrec space /fixmbr writes a new master boot record. The /fixboot option writes a new boot sector. The scanos option searches for installed operating systems, and rebuildbcd attempts to recreate the boot configuration data store. Bootrec is often used after cloning a drive, replacing a hard disk, or cleaning up malware that has damaged the startup process. Diskpart is a powerful command line tool used to manage disks and partitions. You can use Diskpart to list drives, create partitions, assign drive letters, or delete volumes. This tool provides more control than disk management, but also carries more risk. If you accidentally select and delete the wrong disk, the data is gone. Diskpart is commonly used during operating system installation preparation or when working with bootable media. Knowing the correct sequence of commands like list disk, select disk, and clean is important for both exams and fieldwork. Another useful tool is netuse, which maps a drive letter to a network path. The syntax is netu space z : / server name / share name, followed by optional switches for user credentials. For example, netu space z : / finance -server / reports / user : company / technician sets up access to a shared folder. Netuse is frequently used in login scripts, recovery environments, and temporary mapping scenarios where fast access to shared resources is required. Choosing between the command line and the graphical interface depends on the environment and the task. The command line is preferred when working in safe mode, over remote sessions, or when scripting routine tasks. It also allows automation that the graphical interface cannot provide. The graphical interface, or GUI, offers better visibility and is more user-friendly for basic interactions. As a technician, you must be comfortable with both. The A+ exam tests your ability to use both approaches effectively, depending on the scenario. Security and permissions are critical considerations when using command line tools. Many commands, including sfc, diskpart, and shutdown, require elevated privileges. You must either launch the terminal using run as administrator or use the runas command to execute commands with higher-level credentials. Misuse of these tools can result in lost data, corrupted configurations, or unauthorized access. Understanding permission levels and how to safely operate with elevated rights is not just an exam objective. It's a real-world necessity. To summarize, tools like Shutdown, SFC, TaskList, and TaskKill form a key group of command line utilities that give technicians direct control over system processes, power management, and file integrity. These tools are frequently used in troubleshooting, remote administration, and recovery scenarios. They are also featured in performance-based questions on the Core 2 exam. Learning the correct syntax, understanding the outputs, and knowing when to use each command is essential for passing the exam and succeeding in professional support roles. Thank you for listening. Please visit baremetalcyber.com for more cybersecurity information, podcasts, books, and more.